Someone posted a love confession about me on the college's confession wall. But then my roommate's boyfriend left a comment claiming I had been with every guy on campus. Furious, I was ready to call the police. My roommate begged me to forgive her boyfriend, promising he would apologize publicly on the confession wall. However, before that apology could happen, a compromising video began circulating in the student group chats. Everyone was saying I was the girl in the video. The college summoned me for a meeting and suggested I take a leave of absence. When I returned home, my parents refused to acknowledge me as their daughter. I lost everything. Depression consumed me, and with endless rumors, I withdrew completely, losing the strength to continue. When I opened my eyes again, it was the day my name first appeared on the confession wall. Someone posted a picture of me receiving an inspirational scholarship award on the campus confession wall. The caption read, "Shout out to Emma Harper from the class of 2023. You're absolutely stunning. If you don't have a boyfriend, could we get to know each other?" Within minutes, the post had already racked up dozens of comments. Emma isn't just beautiful, she's incredible. Feels like she stepped out of a fairy tale. Wow. Does anyone have her number? I want to meet her too. I scrolled through the comments with a neutral expression until a long comment by someone named Daniel Brown caught my attention. What's wrong with you guys? How can you even like Emma? Don't you know she's the campus bike? Anyone with money can take a ride. Pretty much every guy here has been with her. Someone quickly replied, "Who is this lunatic? Why is he spreading rumors like this?" But Daniel didn't stop. That comment seemed to provoke him further, and he fired back with another long post. "Rumors? Are you kidding me? I've seen it with my own eyes. She hooked up with someone in broad daylight. They didn't even bother going to a hotel. Just found a corner and went at it. She only fools the freshmen with her innocent act. Everyone knows her scholarship and top student awards were earned through improper means." My hands trembled as I read the comment. The phone slipped out of my grasp and hit the floor. "Emma, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost," my roommate asked, picking up my phone. Her eyes scanned the screen before she gasped. "Abby, why is your boyfriend commenting like this on the confession wall?" Abby Miller looked confused and leaned over to check. Her face turned bright red as she read the comments. By now, the rest of my roommates had read the entire thread and were furious on my behalf. How can Daniel say something so disgusting? This has to be slander, right, Emma? You should report him to the police, one of them said indignantly. And no, don't call the police, Abby stammered, visibly flustered. Emma, I'm so sorry. There must be some misunderstanding. I'll talk to him right now and make sure he deletes those comments and apologizes publicly. Abby looked earnest, almost pleading. If I hadn't lived through all of this before, I might have believed her and let her handle it. But in my past life, Daniel never deleted those comments. He never apologized either. Instead, when a certain video went viral, he mocked me and said, "See? What did I tell you? Emma Harper really is someone who doesn't deserve respect." Without a word, I stood up, grabbed my phone, and walked out. When I reached the boys' dorm, I ran into Daniel just as he was leaving. I sprinted toward him, blocking his path. "Is what you said true?" Daniel froze, startled by my sudden appearance. "What?" I held up my phone, showing the comment on the screen. "You said I've been with every guy on campus. Is that true? When did this happen? Where? How many people? I don't remember any of it. So tell me, is it true or not?" Daniel's face shifted instantly. He turned pale, then bright red, and for several seconds, he couldn't form a coherent response. It wasn't until Abby finally caught up, slightly out of breath, that she intervened. She gave him a sharp nudge and whispered, "Apologize." As if snapping out of a trance, Daniel stammered, Sorry, Emma. I didn't mean it. It just slipped out. I shouldn't have said anything. So you're saying it's true?" My voice rang out sharp and loud. "You're spreading lies about me? That's unacceptable." My words instantly drew a crowd. People stopped in their tracks, phones appeared in hand, and they began messaging others. Within minutes, we were surrounded by a wall of curious faces. Daniel looked panicked, his confidence evaporating under the pressure. Emma, I misspoke, okay? None of it's true. You didn't sleep with every guy on campus. I was just being an idiot. He fumbled for his phone and deleted the comments in front of me. See? They're gone. You're better than this. Just let it go, okay? Abby chimed in, trying to smooth things over. Yeah, Emma, Daniel didn't mean any harm. He probably confused your picture with someone else's. Just let it go. It's not a big deal. Confuse my picture with someone else's? A photo, maybe. But my name? My name was in the comments, repeated over and over. He couldn't have mixed it up. The two of them were clearly working together, trying to brush this off as nothing. Narrowing my eyes, I scrolled to another comment. Fine. So you're saying the part about me being with every guy on campus isn't true. But what about this? You said you saw me hooking up in broad daylight. Where exactly was that? On campus grounds? Daniel's face turned red again, his smile tight and nervous. Come on, just pretend I didn't say that either, okay? I was out of line. I shouldn't have said anything. My boldness clearly struck a nerve. Daniel's face twisted with anger, and he finally snapped. You want the truth? Fine. A month ago, you and your faculty advisor were in the grove behind campus at noon. You thought no one would see because of the holiday, but guess what? Someone recorded a video. He finished with a self-righteous air, glaring at me as if I were the one in the wrong. When I didn't respond immediately, his confidence grew. See? I gave you a chance, but you had to keep pushing. But Daniel didn't notice how Abby's expression shifted the moment he mentioned the exact time and place. I stared at Daniel, my breathing heavy as I fought to control the rage burning in my chest. His face carried a mask of false confidence, but it was clear he was beginning to feel the weight of his actions. He stood there as if he held some sort of power over me, but my determination to not be crushed again only grew stronger. Abby, standing beside him, looked at me with a mix of guilt and unease. I couldn't trust anyone there anymore. So, Daniel, I said, my voice steady though my heart was pounding. You're saying someone recorded this video? Who is this someone? Where's the video? I want to see it now. He hesitated, stumbling over his words as if scrambling for an excuse. I don't know. It wasn't me who recorded it. I just heard rumors. I let out a bitter laugh that echoed among the gathering crowd. Rumors? You destroyed me over rumors? I stepped closer, and he instinctively stepped back. You spread lies about me, threw disgusting accusations around, and now you're telling me you don't have any proof? That you don't even know if it's true? The silence was deafening. I could feel the eyes around us, watching, waiting, but no one dared to intervene. Abby stepped forward, trying to place herself between us. Emma, let's resolve this calmly. Daniel already apologized, and he'll delete everything. There's no need to make this a scene. I turned to her, my anger shifting in her direction. Calmly? Abby, he destroyed my life last time. Do you think a simple sorry fixes this? He dragged my name through the mud, made my parents hate me, took everything I had. And you stood by, asking me to be patient, defending this piece of trash. No, Abby. Not this time. She opened her mouth to respond, but I cut her off before she could say a word. And, you know what's funny? I continued, locking eyes with Daniel. You seem to know a lot about the exact location and time this supposedly happened. How are you so sure? Were you there? Or are you the one who recorded it? His eyes widened, clearly startled by the accusation. Me? No. Of course not. He shook his head frantically. I just heard someone say it, okay? I wasn't there. Then who was? I demanded, crossing my arms. Who told you? Or, is that a lie too? Daniel started to sweat. He looked at Abby, as if expecting her to help him out, but she seemed even more nervous than he did. That's when I realized Abby knew something. She knew more than she was letting on. Abby? My voice turned cold. You seem to know more than you're saying. Are you going to speak up? I don't know what you're talking about, she said quickly, but her face was red, and she avoided my gaze. You're lying. I stepped closer, ignoring the murmurs from the crowd. You've known about this from the start, haven't you? That's why you're so desperate for me to forgive Daniel. Because you're involved in this mess. She took a step back, shaking her head.
No.
I swear I didn't know he was going to post that. But you knew about the video, didn't you? My voice grew sharper, and she froze. You knew, Abby. Who recorded it? Were you there? Did you do it? Stop it, Emma, she shouted, tears welling up in her eyes. I didn't do anything, okay? It wasn't me. Then who was it? I pressed. She looked at Daniel, and his expression gave everything away. He avoided eye contact, shrinking further under the weight of the confrontation. Oh my God, I whispered as the realization hit me. It was you, wasn't it, Daniel? You recorded the video and spread it around. I didn't spread it around, he shouted back, his voice shaking. I just sent it to a few people. I didn't know it would blow up like this. My blood ran cold. The anger was almost unbearable now. You destroyed my life for fun. My voice was low, but filled with contempt. You wanted to humiliate me.
Why?
What did I ever do to you? He didn't answer. He just stood there, a coward, while I felt the weight of everything rushing back. The jokes, the stares, the rejection from my family. But this time, I wasn't going to let it crush me. Listen to me, Daniel, I said, my voice stronger, full of resolve. I'm taking this to the administration. I'm going to the police. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person you are. You think you can destroy someone's life and get away with it? Not this time. Before he could respond, I turned to the crowd. And all of you? I asked, glaring at the people filming on their phones. Do you think it's fun watching someone's life get destroyed? Keep recording. You'll want to remember this when he's expelled. Without waiting for response, I walked away. Each step felt heavier, but deep inside, there was an unshakable certainty. This time, it would be different. I wouldn't stay silent. I walked away from that confrontation with a single thought in my mind. This time, things would be different. They weren't going to destroy me again. Daniel, Abby, and everyone who laughed at my expense or contributed to my downfall would finally face the consequences. It wouldn't be easy, but I had something I didn't have before. Knowledge of the truth. And I was ready to wield it like a weapon. The first thing I did was march straight to the college administration. I already knew that, in the past, they had chosen to silence me and suggest I take a leave of absence. But this time, armed with foresight and evidence, I was ready for them. I stormed into the dean's office without an appointment, ignoring the secretary who tried to stop me. Emma Harper, what's going on? The dean asked, startled by my sudden entrance. What's going on? I said firmly. Is that one of your students, Daniel Brown, has posted defamatory lies about me on the campus confession wall and admitted to distributing a compromising video. I expect the college to take action before I'm forced to escalate this myself. He stared at me, trying to process the weight of my accusation. Do you have proof of these claims? He asked, his tone skeptical, almost dismissive. I pulled out my phone and showed him the screenshots of Daniel's comments on the confession wall, along with recorded conversations I had with him and Abby. I also mentioned that there were multiple witnesses who had seen Daniel admit his actions. His expression shifted, discomfort creeping into his face as he realized this couldn't be swept under the rug. We'll launch an investigation immediately, Emma. You have my word, he said, suddenly cooperative. It was almost laughable how quickly his tone changed. He wasn't helping me out of compassion, but because I had undeniable evidence that could tarnish the college's reputation. And this was only the beginning. While the administration started their investigation, I went straight to the police. This time, I didn't hesitate to file a formal report against Daniel for defamation, harassment, and the distribution of sensitive material. I explained everything in detail, laying out how he had used the video to publicly humiliate me. I also mentioned Abby, who clearly knew more than she was letting on. Next, I hired a lawyer. It was a bold move, but I decided to invest my savings into hiring the best legal professional I could find. He listened to my case with unwavering focus and assured me we would pursue justice to its fullest extent, holding Daniel and any accomplices accountable. As the situation escalated, word began to spread across campus. Daniel's original confession post had been deleted, but many students remembered his comments and were buzzing about my confrontation with him. Some approached me to offer their support or share information. It was through one of these students that I discovered a game-changing piece of evidence. A student from the film department, someone I barely knew, contacted me directly. "Emma, I was near the Grove on the day they're talking about. I think I might have something that could help you," he said.
He showed me footage he had taken that day.
It wasn't the incriminating video Daniel had circulated, but it was enough to prove that I wasn't there at the time and place Daniel claimed. The video clearly showed another person, wearing clothes completely different from mine, making it impossible to confuse me with the individual in question. This evidence was my saving grace. Armed with this new evidence, the walls around Daniel began to crumble. The college summoned him for a disciplinary hearing where he was confronted with the screenshots, witness testimonies, and the video that proved his lies. He tried to defend himself, claiming it was just a joke, but no one was buying it. The college announced his expulsion, citing gross violations of the code of conduct. As for Abby, she couldn't stay silent any longer. When the investigation revealed that she had known about the video and had done nothing to stop Daniel, her reputation was destroyed. Her friends abandoned her, and rumors began swirling about how deeply involved she had been in the whole ordeal. She left the college shortly after, her life in shambles. With Daniel gone and my name cleared on campus, there was still one more hurdle: my family. Returning home, I braced myself for the confrontation I had avoided for so long. When my mother opened the door, her face was tight with tension. "What are you doing here, Emma?" she asked coldly. I took a deep breath before responding. "I'm here to show you the truth. I never did any of the things they said I did. It was all lies spread by cruel people. And now I have the proof." I spent the next few minutes explaining everything, showing them the evidence, and detailing how I had fought to clear my name. They listened in silence, and by the end, tears were streaming down my mother's face. "Emma, we were wrong. We should never have believed them. I'm so sorry we didn't stand by you," she said, her voice trembling. My father, always the quieter one, gave me a small nod. "You've shown more strength than any of us ever could. We're proud of you." Despite the lingering pain, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. They still had a long way to go to earn back my trust, but this was a start. Time moved on, and I rebuilt my life. I finished my studies, gained recognition for my resilience, and eventually began working for an organization dedicated to helping victims of online harassment and defamation. I turned my pain into purpose, fighting to ensure no one else would have to endure what I had. As for Daniel, I heard that he struggled to get accepted into another college. His record of misconduct followed him everywhere, and he was forced to take on temporary jobs while trying to piece his life back together. Abby, on the other hand, disappeared completely. I don't know where she ended up, and frankly, I don't care. I didn't just survive. I won. And this time, justice was served.